Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, another episode of Garden State Screenings, episode 2. I'm so thankful that you're listening to episode 2, and we're going to start this episode off fast because we got a lot to talk about today. This time I got notes. Hopefully, it's more prepared this time, unlike last time where I wasn't so prepared. But let's start this episode. And once again, thank you for listening and hope you enjoy. Written and directed by Kevin Smith after finding a lot of success with his first film, Clerks, he followed it up with his first official studio film, this movie being Mallrats. Released in 1995, a movie that pays homage to 80s teen sex comedies like Porky's, Animal House, and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Universal and Gramercy Pictures gave Smith all the support in pushing out this movie with the high hopes of creating the year's biggest comedy, with an early screening at a 1995 San Diego Comic Con with a big crowd of people cheering and laughing and making everyone involved with the movie extremely happy and excited about the future, thinking they made a smart version of Porky's. But a couple months later, the film premiered, and what happened next is an unfortunate end to this part of the story. The movie was met with poor reviews and being trashed by Siskel and Ebert by going as far as saying that the movie should be shown at film schools on all not to do when a studio gives you money. Smith officially had dreaded the sophomore slump. Things didn't get easier after that. On its opening weekend, Mallrats only made $2.1 million worldwide on a budget of $5 million, officially making it a major box office bomb. Smith later apologized for Mallrats, and for years to come, the movie became a joke to Smith, the black sheep of his movies. It came and quickly was forgotten about, but as the years went on, something unexpected happened. The movie had gained a cult following on the VHS tape, becoming very popular choice for customers, making the movie have a new life on video. Kevin Smith's comic book loving superhero comedy was reintroduced into a new generation where now it's cool to like superheroes in comics, especially now when it seems that the only movies making money are Marvel movies. Kevin Smith predicted the love of this culture and slowly dying mall culture as well. The lesson to be learned here is that sometimes the things you are making now aren't always for now, and that you never know who would end up loving them years to come. Little did Kevin Smith know that some random Mexican kid from New Jersey would fall in love with his movies and watch them over and over again. Now, join me as we take a deep dive into this movie, but first, let's roll the trailer.
Oh my God, Renee dumped you.
You're dumping me?
Why are we sitting here trying to figure out where we went wrong with our significant others?
Well, you know what I think sick? This relationship.
There is something out there that can help ease our simultaneous double loss.
Ritual suicide.
No, you idiot, the fucking mall.
Brandy is the past. You face forward, or you face the possibility of shock and damage. Where the hell did that come from? What's going on here?
You know about this game show thing they got going on here? Well, we need you guys to somehow ensure that it doesn't happen.
Is that it? We're gonna do that anyway.
Really? Why?
What else are we gonna do? Sal Bobby stole a schematic. I found a weakness just like the fucking Death Star. Only problem is LaForge.
Who's the Force?
You don't know what LaForge is? Phase 1. First you take a run at LaForge with the sock full of quarters. Clock him on his headpiece and knock his ass out cold.
Is that ingenuity or what?
Jesus Christ, you knocked him out.
Now hit him!
Some afternoons, fun parties, and you can't choose your morning to social class. Stuck in, but it's hard to pass their social norms and social rules. With social scout, with social rules.
Holy shit! Aren't you?
Oh, Stanley. Hi.
Mallrats follows T.S. Quinn, who plans on spending a week with his girlfriend Brandy Spinning at Universal Studios, where he's planning on proposing to her. But after her father's dating show contestant died at the YMCA pool the day before, Brandy now has to fill in as a favor to her father, leading to an upset/mad T.S., who ends up getting dumped by her. He runs over to his best friend Brody Bruce's house, where he's also getting dumped by his girlfriend Renee, which includes an upsetting letter about his immature life filled with comics and Sega. Brody suggests that going to the mall might cheer them up, so they pack up their things and arrive at the mall, only to quickly discover that the game show is being hosted that night there. So they try to get the iconic duo Jay and Silent Bob, who make their grand return from Clerks, but this time in color. to destroy the stage. After many failed attempts, they don't succeed in doing so. Meanwhile, Brody tries to win back Renee, who's now going out with a worker at the mall, Shannon Hamilton, played by Ben Affleck, who hates everything about Brody. We come across many characters around the mall, like William Black, a character who's trying to figure out the trick with the magic eye painting, Trish the Dish, a 15-year-old who's writing a book about the male sex drive, ages 14 to 40, Gwen Turner, Brandy's friend and T.S.'s ex-girlfriend. After a confrontation with Brandy's father that ends up with T.S. and Brody running away from the cops and fleeing to the dirt mall, aka the flea market, where they seek the help of a psychic woman who pretty much tells them to man up and get their girlfriends back, which ends up having TS and Brody on the game show that night. TS does win over Brandy by asking her to marry him and her saying yes. By the end, the two ruin whatever chance Mr. Spinning had of getting his show fully made, completely just be gone. The cops show up as Brody, who told Trish to use her video that she had of her and Shannon Hamilton hooking up, be exposed, driving the attention off to him, who he himself was about to beat the shit out of Brody for winning Renee back. All things come crashing down, but the two couples are happy together, and even Silent Bob gets to drop some words of wisdom as we get a Fast Time style ending showing where each character ends up as credits roll. And that's Mallrats. I love Mallrats. It's my second favorite Kevin Smith movie. I remember seeing it after Clerks, and I just really liked it. And it's a good time. It's a good hangout. I'm really into the hangout genre. I love like Clerks, Mallrats, Dazed and Confused, Slacker, all those hangout movies that you just kind of just more. There's more talking than really anything else going on. But this is more a little more screwball comedy than actual Slacker type movie, but it does follow slackers. Follows TS and Brody, who are definitely big time slackers. They're pretty much Dante and Randall from Clerks, but they don't work. It opens up with it opens up with a voiceover from Brody saying, showing off the mall and saying why he loves it and all that stuff. And then we cut to TS, who's picking up his girlfriend Brandy, who he's getting ready to take to Universal Studios, where he's planning on proposing to her. But she breaks the news saying that Julie Dwyer, one of their old classmates, died. And it kind of is TS's fault because apparently she was going to be on a game show that Brandy's father's hosting, and TS jokingly said that, oh, the camera adds 10 pounds, and she's very self conscious, so it made her go to the YMCA pool to do laps, leading to her having an embolism in her brain, making her die. And if you're catching on, Julie Dwyer is the same person whose funeral is in Clerks, who Dante and Randall go see, where Randall knocks the casket over. So that's a nice little connection. And this leads into a fight that does lead to the two breaking up, and TS runs over to Brody's house, where Brody, he himself, is not the best partner to have either, where he doesn't even really acknowledge his girlfriend, who Renee, played by Shannon Doherty, who who wants his attention and who always says that she cries in the bathroom because she cries that she thinks about the people who changed the world and she has nothing better to do than to be with Brody, which makes Brody kind of mad and joking around too. And it's to be honest, yeah, the story of the relationship between those main four aren't isn't the strongest thing. Yes, they really are immature, and they really I'm surprised that the two ladies in the movie put up with them for as long as they did. And but it's a screwball comedy. Come on, this is a screwball comedy. This is Kevin Smith's most goofy movie, like out of like his like main original movies. It's his most goofy. It's his most fun. It's his most not taking anything really seriously. And I think maybe that's why it didn't really resonate with a lot of people when it came out, because at first glance, it just seems like it's just a bunch of people talking comics and talking, random shit, like saying the most outrageous things. And I don't think that really resonated with a lot of people that aren't into comics and aren't into hanging out the mall, aren't into other things like early 20s. If you watch this when you're like 40, for the first time, I don't think it's gonna have the same impact as you as watching Clerks when you're 40, because I feel like you still can sort of see yourself working at dead end job at like when you were younger. So maybe that's maybe why Mallrats didn't work that well with people. But then we have a funny scene with Brody showing off the letter that he got from Renee, saying how she's dumping him and all that. And TS laughs, yeah, at it, and Brody even framed it up, which is kind of funny. That's pretty funny. Him framing that letter up, and this Brody pretty much just says flat out, "Let's go to the mall," and that's not what TS wants to do. TS wants to go back and apologize to Brandy, but Brody, kind of being the pushover friend that he is, sort of like Randall, um, makes him go to the mall. Where they go to the mall, and that's what I want to talk about. Now that this movie shows so well the just the hangout vibe at the mall, the culture, the of just being there like on a Friday night or a weekend or even like on a weekday where it's pretty much dead. Which I think this movie is a weekday. I'm pretty sure it's just Friday or a Thursday. I don't think this is a Saturday because not that many people are in the mall. Because if this were a Saturday in the '90s, it would be packed, and this is not really that packed of a mall. And the two, they go to the mall. So if you don't if you didn't really grow up going to the mall or hanging out with your friends at the mall, you're not gonna like that part. You're not gonna really get that whole part of just hanging out at the mall, not really going to the shop, just hanging out at the food court, or hanging out at the stores. Not even mainly window shopping. If you're into that, you're not gonna get that if you don't do that stuff or never did that stuff as growing up or even now or never just weren't into that stuff. We quickly run into Jay and Silent Bob as they make their, like I said, grand return in color. Which is fun fact. Jay wasn't supposed to be played by Jason Mewes at this point anymore. Universal didn't want him back. They didn't think he was a good actor in the first one. Which I mean, he wasn't an actor to begin with. It was just Kevin Smith's friend who he wanted to cast in the movie. But they wanted Seth Green out of all people, Seth Green to play Jay, which I would thank God they didn't go with that because I could not see that at all. I'm sure Seth would have done okay, but he's not Jay, and I could never see anyone else play Jay except Jason Mewes. And clearly, everyone else at Universal thought the same because even after the tests of comparing Jason Mewes to Seth Green, they still kind of went with the actor Jay after seeing, okay, yeah, we'll go with Jay. We'll go with Jay. And we have their fun little banter, and we have a funny running gag with Silent Bob trying to use the Force after watching Empire Strikes Back and Jay making really funny remarks at that. And that's just it's just at this point just fun watching these people just hang out, talk. There's a Superman dialogue thing where it's even on the soundtrack before one of the songs where Brody talks about Superman's anatomy and how he can't impregnate Lois Lane because his Kryptonian, you know what, is very dangerous to her. And it just you can tell that just came from Kevin Smith's real life, and he just inserted it there. That him just you, the, clearly those are two friends that just have broken down so much of any of some of like the whole Superman thing to talk about that you just break it down to the bones of what to talk at this point, and it shows you that Brody clearly is not well. He's very goofy, and this leads to them meeting up with Trish the Dish, who that alone is a whole different story with how okay, maybe not everything has aged well with this movie, and I think Trish the Dish's character, Trisha Jones, who is a 15-year-old who's writing a book about the male sex drive. And yeah, even that. Obviously it's meant for shock value, and I know that, and I understand it's a joke, and but if a lot of people watch this now, I don't think they'll be laughing. I don't mind it. I don't care. I think it's funny because it's not meant to be taken seriously. That's the thing with comedy now. No one all these people trying to make it seem like it's such a big deal. It's a comedy. It's a movie. It's just a movie. Come on, like don't take it seriously. It's not real life. You don't see anything. Trust me. There's been other people who've done way worse in other movies who actually show more fucked up things than Kevin Smith has shown in his movies. So don't even try to cancel him or anything like that because that's nothing compared to other people and real people in real life who've done way worse on in Hollywood. Trust me, people in Hollywood have done way worse than what this movie's saying or doing, and it's not stupid. And so we just hang out around the mall really, and we even get funny scenes with early Ben Affleck. Like Ben Affleck plays like this that another character. He plays this he's the character going after Shannon Doherty's character, Renee, Brody's ex girlfriend. After them breaking up, he quickly wants to go out with her, and they're even seen at the mall together, which makes Brody very, very jealous and trying to win her back, which leads to exposing Brody's whole weird fantasies, like how when he wanted her to do a strip tease to the theme from Mighty Mouse, or when just showing how Brody's just a little girl pretty much because he's very terrified of having Renee meet his mother, thinking that she's not gonna like Renee, and that just pisses off Renee more and makes her back off from him way more, leading to her going out with Ben Affleck's character, whose whole thing is wants to wants to do her in a very uncomfortable spot. That's I know that's such a stupid line, but every time they bring it up, I can't help but laugh. It's just so stupid, but it's the way Ben Affleck just says it, the way he acts. His early roles are very bullyish, douchebag characters like him in Dazed and Confused. Like he plays an asshole in that. He plays an asshole in this. I think after this movie, and he eventually will go on to do Chasing Amy and Good Will Hunting because since he met Kevin Smith showed helped him get produced by Harvey Weinstein. Who again, I'm saying Harvey Weinstein. If you listen to the Clerks one, you know how awful that guy was. But still, he produced all these great movies, but in real life he's an absolute devil, and he deserves to be run in jail. But he helped produce all these great movies, which is just upsetting to see because all these movies are great. Like Miramax is a good studio from the 90s. Like I love a lot of movies from Miramax, and but unfortunately they have the Harvey Weinstein name behind it, the Weinstein company behind it. Even the Weinstein company, like after they split off from Miramax and made their own, they still made a bunch of good movies, and but they're just the devils. But moving on from that part, um, Ben Affleck's character. Oh, like I said, this after this movie, Ben Affleck really got those good roles like Chasing Amy and Good Will Hunting, and eventually got on Armageddon, which I don't know if Armageddon was before or after this. No, it was after because no, it's after Good Will Hunting because he still has his baby teeth in Good Will Hunting and Armageddon. He famously got a new set of teeth because Michael Bay said that he didn't have movie star teeth, and I love their relationship, like Ben Affleck and Kevin Smith's relationship, because I think they really helped each other, and I think they really bring out the best in each other when they're working together. Obviously, Chasing Amy was a great movie, and we might talk about that next week. I'm not sure yet. Maybe. But for now, let's move on because I'm getting off track. Um, the cast is really great. I love the cast. T.S. played by Jeremy London, whose brother I can't think of his brother's name. I forget his brother's name. Something London. He's out of the two. I think maybe T.S. I mean Jeremy London is a better actor, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive, because his brother is in Day. He's the main guy in Days and Confused. He plays Pitford. I think it's Pitford. I can't think of names off the spot. And I've watched these movies 100 times, and I can't think of them off the spot, but his brother is very. Do you hear a motorcycle? If you can hear that motorcycle pass by, screw that motorcycle that just passed by. Ruin my audio. Um, he no Jeremy London. I think he's the better actor out of the two, and that's not saying that much too. But still, it's still. But the guy who steals the movie, of course, is Jason Lee as Brody Bruce. He steals the show. He has the best dialogue in the movie. He steals the show from Jeremy London's character and absolutely crushes it. Each scene he's in, he's always bringing out this funny, charming, like energy, like the facial expressions and all that stuff. He's what Ryan Reynolds is today, and but I prefer Jason Lee 10 times more because Jason Lee, come on, he's just so funny. And this was his first movie actually. He was a pro skater before this, and he got into acting, and this has set him off to be one of the greatest actors of all time, in my opinion. And we have Shannon Doherty, which at the time was a big deal for her to be in this because this was her first movie after leaving 90210, and obviously didn't go well, but still, it's and also obviously rest in peace to Shannon Doherty. Obviously, she died. Uh, I think 2 years old. I think in 2024 she died, which is very unfortunate because she was a good actress. I liked her in 90210, and I liked her in this. I liked her in what else was she in? Was she in Bewitched? No, she wasn't. No, not Bewitched. No, Sabrina. Was she in Sabrina? I forget. I don't. I'm signing off now. But Brandy Spenning, played by Claire Forlani, which I have nothing on her. I do not know what happened to her. She was good in this. She's passable in this. Obviously, Shannon Doherty was the bigger star, so they gave her more things to do. She sort of just plays the same kind of. She's pretty much the same way throughout the movie, Claire Forlani. But obviously, no hate on her because she's a very she did her good job. Like she's not bad or anything. I just didn't really. She's not really that memorable out of the two. Well, out of the main girls. Um, Gwen Turner, played by Joy Laurie Adams, which I like that character. It's just weird, not weird, but very open character who has had a lot of very good amount of intercourse. Yeah. She was TS's ex girlfriend and cheated on cheated on him. I mean, constantly leading, but she has some funny lines. So that's the thing. My favorite line. It's on the soundtrack too, so I remember it very well. That there's a scene where Brody tells after having a sexual sex on an elevator, Brody and his girlfriend Renee, or his ex girlfriend Renee, they have sex in an elevator, and after that, Gwen, is like, and he's like explaining it to Gwen and TS while they're shopping, and Brody's just like, "Have you ever had like real sex?" And then Gwen's like, "Yeah," and then Gwen's just, I mean, Joey Laurie Adams' voice is like very much like Jennifer Tilly's voice, that soft, raspy voice, and it's just so funny. Which is like, "Yeah, yeah." Is that I love that. It always makes me laugh. I love that. And obviously Joey Laurie Adams and Kevin Smith, they eventually date after this movie comes out, which leads to her being in Chasing Amy, which is my favorite role of hers. She's absolutely amazing in Chasing Amy. And we already talked about Shannon Hamilton by Ben Affleck again, obviously, great guy. Mr. Svenning, the father of Brandy Svenning, played by Michael Rooker. He's amazing. I did not. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. He's amazing in whatever James Gunn's projects that he puts him in, and as Yondu, as Savant in the Suicide Squad, as the I forget his name, Peacemaker season 2. He's a character in that, and he's hilarious in that. And it was very surprising when I saw him in this because he looks so young. Like he's just so young, but at the same time, he looks so old. But and he's hilarious in this as Mr. Svenning, the guy who's trying to get his TV show made, who's the host of the dating game knockoff show that they're gonna be on eventually later in the movie. And he plays this like very angry father who was kind of weird sometimes, talking about his daughter very sexually in a weird way, telling TS straight to his face that he knows him and Brandy have like had sex in his house. Like this kind of it's like over the top hilarious and only something Michael Rooker would only do. And but he's very good. And then last we have William Black played by Ethan Suplee. And I forgot how he was. I was writing the notes down and I forgot to put him down, but I have to bring him up because first of all he's an amazing actor and obviously he used to be very overweight and now he's like ripped as hell. But this was the first time him and Jason Lee got a screen. They were on a movie together, and if you know, they eventually went on to be brothers on My Name Is Earl, which is my favorite, one of my favorite top 5 favorite shows of all time. They are hilarious in that, and Ethan Suplee is very hilarious in that show. So that's funny that they and when I first watched this, I knew about My Name Is Earl and loved it. So seeing them two together here was hilarious too. Very early. I think we already talked about how Gwen and TS were ex boyfriend and girlfriend. The game show is very funny. That's like kind of like this whole movie's building up to the game show, and by the time you get to it, it's nice. It's like, is it as funny as I liked it to be? No, but it's still very enjoyable. And obviously, you get that funny Jason Lee banter with the characters. I'm telling you, bro, Jason Lee just steals the show out of every scene he's in. He absolutely steals the show, and he's hilarious. Some things I don't like about the movie are that it's too short. I feel like this movie could have been a little like at least 15 minutes longer, at least that to have some more fun scenes at the mall. My One of my favorite scenes of the movie. Actually, no, I think it is my favorite scene. It's my favorite scene of the movie. It's I'm building up to this scene. The moment Stan Lee appears, he when we get like an early talk about him when Brody tries to buy comics at the comic book store and it doesn't and there's a long line because someone's having a signing and he's like, and who's having a signing? He's like, who's having a signing? And then you find out that Stan Lee, the one and only Stan Lee, is having an autograph signing, which then we don't get to see him there, but eventually we do see when Brody's outside looking at lingerie, thinking about Renee for some reason, and you get Stan Lee's nice, very heartwarming story about how he let the girl walk away years ago and he still regrets it to this day. And I like that. Here's the thing: I like the Marvel Stanley cameos, but sometimes like they eventually did get a little cheap. It's just well, not cheap. It's like They just are there for 1 second, you clap, and that's it. Nothing really adds to the movie. Maybe a laugh, obviously, but this was his first movie that he did, his first cameo, really. That or not even at the time you'd even think it was a cameo because it wasn't a thing yet for him to be in movies. And I think when Kevin Smith was writing the movie, he wrote kind of like a character like Stan Lee type, like a famous comic book writer type thing. But he eventually got Stan Lee in the movie, and the cameo worked. I hate saying I'm calling it a cameo because I know that's a more easy way to explain it, but it's like it's a very heartwarming thing, and that's the thing I love with Kevin Smith, that throughout all his like awful dialogue, not awful, but like like vulgar dialogue, there's still heart to it, and it was a very heartfelt scene. And obviously, especially now since he's passed, it's very like it was very nice to see that. And yeah, obviously Kevin Smith really made more people aware of Stanley at the time, or because back then I guess no one really knew who Stanley was except you reading a comic and you see a picture of him. But I think he did have those specials where like he showed you like the behind the scenes of comic book making and stuff, but not really to the extent where everyone's gonna be knowing who Stanley is. Now everyone knows who Stanley is. You make a joke, oh Stanley, there's really a name for it, the Stanley type cameo, where like some character appears in multiple movies as a cameo, as a quick little cameo. You compare to Stanley. Well, speaking of Marvel and having multiple universes or multiple worlds be in the same universe, this is the VSQ universe. That's Kevin Smith's built-in universe. That it's really fun. He has this little like little references throughout his movies that obviously they all take place in New Jersey, and there's all the characters know each other. A bunch of characters like well, some obviously Jane, Silent Bob are in all his movies, but there's also other connections. Like in this movie, his second movie only, where Trish the Dish, Trish, where his real name is Trisha Jones, is the sister of Heather Jones, the character from Clerks, who is also sisters with Alyssa Jones, who is the main star of Chasing Amy, played by Joy Laurie Adams. So keep that in mind. And Gwen Turner cheated on TS with Rick Darris, another character from Clerks, who in the same scene in Clerks got with Heather Jones, and recently they made a comic book about what happened to them, and they lived happily ever after. And the movie takes place the day before Clerks, and even in a deleted scene, it shows the quick stop for a quick shot, which is I like that. I like that little nod to the thing. Also, earlier I just said that I wanted a 20 minutes longer of the movie, but there is an extended cut of the movie. There's like on the Arrow release Blu-ray, and even on like the 10th anniversary DVD, they had the extended version of it, which shows a different opening with like 10 minutes extra and some couple scenes changed here and there. But I like it, but it's not my favorite thing in the world. I don't mind it, but I wouldn't watch. I like this version better. Like when I say 20 minutes extra, I mean like different, not that. Like actually in the movie, like the extended cut is called the extended cut, but the extended stuff is really just the beginning, and then like the end is a little different. And oh, another connection is Brody and Randall are cousins. They are Brody from Clerks and Brody from Mallrats, and Randall from Clerks are cousins, sharing a cousin named Walter, who both Randall and Brody share very interesting, weird stories about. And also, last but not least, Gil Hicks, who is the third contestant in the dating show game, who, if you remember from Clerks, Dante Hicks, his last name, yes, they are cousins, Gil Hicks and Dante Hicks. And throughout the VSU universe, we see many of Dante's other cousins. And just like with Darius and Heather Jones, they eventually did do a comic having a crossover with all the cousins at a reunion for one of Dante's uncle's birthdays or something like that. A Hicks reunion. The music of Mallrats. I This is my favorite soundtrack from Kevin Smith. I listen to the soundtrack a lot, and I think after watching the movie, I think throughout this like couple years since I've seen the movie, there's definitely been a moment where I definitely have the soundtrack on repeat. Definitely, because I think it's this very good collection of songs. And the thing is, with the Kevin Smith's first couple soundtracks, especially with these two, the songs weren't really but the scene doesn't really go very well. It's not a Tarantino type thing where like the songs mean like a lot of things compared to the scene like that are like pointing to the scene. Like the songs aren't going to go with the scene as much, but the songs itself are very good in general. Here's the list of songs on the soundtrack in case you want to check it out, which is available on Spotify or you could buy it because you should buy stuff. too because it's yours. I have the CD and I love my CD of this soundtrack. It's very good. And but the songs are Bubbles by Bush, Suzanne by Weezer, 17 by Sponge, Line Up by Elastica, Mallrats by Wax, Broken by Belly, Cruise Your New Baby Fly Self by Girls Against Boys, Guilty by All, Web in Front by Acres of Loaf, Heated by Trush Hermit, Build Me Up Buttercup by The Goops, Social by Squirtgun, Smoke Two Joints by Subline, and Stone by Silverchair. I mean, come on, just wow. Those artists are definitely very 90s. Like, come on. My favorite would definitely be either Web in Front or Build Me Up Buttercup. I think Build Me Up Buttercup. That's it's covers like sometimes covers aren't good, but like I said with Clerks that they had the cover for you can go your own way, which is covered by another band in the soundtrack for Clerks. This version of Build Me Up Buttercup is by the Goops. It's this rock version of the original song, which is like it's also one of my favorite songs of all time. But this one just has another elevated sense to it, where it's just like upbeat and all that. It's definitely I think that's my favorite song of all time. And I was, I mean, some of the songs do go good with the movie. A lot of them are just like in the background. You can barely hear them. Like my other favorite is Web in Front, but like you can barely hear that in the actual scene because of the dialogue. But like Social by Squirt Gun, it's the opening song with like the comic like the opening titles are comic variations of like the characters, but like as spoofs for like Marvel and DC comics, which is funny because Ben Affleck's his comic spoof is Buttman. Obviously, it's supposed to be a play on Batman, which eventually goes on to be in, and that's a good one. I like the Social song. It's That's a good one. And Suzanne wraps up the movie very well. It's the one that has like it's by Weezer, and it's a scene at the end where we have like I said the Fast Times style credit scene where like it shows the characters as a freeze frame with what they were up to. I like when movies do that sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time, but I can't think of the last movie that did that. I think what's the Kiki Palmer movie? One of them days. I think that's what it's called. They do that style. I forget if they narrate over it. If you read it, I forget that part. But they do that. They do that, and I like that. And at the end of that scene, we have the we have an orangutan named Suzanne head off with Silent Bob and Jay, as the captions say. That's a story for another day, which does eventually pay off. Eventually, it pays off with Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, but we're not there yet. That's for the future. But after that, we have the song Mallrats play over the credits. I like that song too. Here's my thing. Okay, call me weird if you want, but I like watching the credits of movies and TV shows, even if I'm home, even if I'm not, even if there's nothing after them. When I'm in the theater, I want to watch all the credits. Just as a way to say thank you to the people who worked on it. But sometimes you do get awesome music because even if I'm home, okay, this is very weird. I don't know if this is very weird. I Every time I watch Mallrats or Clerks or any of the Kenton movies or Tarantino movies or James Gunn movies or any movie, I watch all the credits because some of them have very good songs. Like Mallrats, this isn't in the actual movie, the song Mallrats, but it's in the credits, and I that's the only reason I like it because it's like you know when you know where the song plays in the movie and you listen to the soundtrack, you think of the moment. So when I hear the song Mallrats, I know it's a good song, but I also know that it plays during the end credits, which just makes it better. And call me weird. I'm telling you, call me weird, but I love the credits. Sometimes yes, maybe they're just a black screen with white text, but sometimes they have a good song playing during it. And especially if you're in the theater and you like that song, it's awesome hearing the music come from those surround sound speakers, which I really love. I very much like it when they play a song that I know on the speakers at the movie theater. But that's just me. Maybe I'm just a weird one, you know? I don't know. I don't know. But we're gonna wrap this up because I think that's enough time we have for today. Because I don't want you guys being bored by hearing my voice all the time. So we're gonna wrap this up very quickly now. Mallrats has a very interesting life from box office bomb to cult classic, like many movies, but what sets it apart is the fun cast of characters saying that classic Kevin Smith dialogue and heartwarming scenes. Even if the movie didn't make a lot of money at the time, it definitely now has a place where everyone loves it. Well, mainly a lot of people like it. Some people still don't like it. But that's what the movie is. It's just supposed to be fun. And even if you don't, like I said, even if you don't want to watch it, I hope you learn something from this episode that you probably didn't know before, or you might watch it now. You might want to watch it. The movie will definitely still be loved 30 years from now. Take it from me. I'm 20 and I still find the beauty in it. So if I can, I'm sure you can as well. And with that is our final thing to say on this episode. And with that, we end the episode off. But first, the song before the song that's gonna play next is, like I said, "Build Me Up" by the Goops. So I hope. I just want. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you again for listening to the second episode of my voice. Like, thank you for paying attention for a second time. If you were here the first time and now you're here back for the second, thank you so much, truly, because it means a lot to you. It means a lot to me, obviously, because I'm just happy that you're here and talking about movies. So with that, I'm gonna leave everyone listening off. So signing off. Goodbye and take care. Thank you.